Back here with Coach Mangini, we're going viral. The Chiefs are headed to the Super Bowl thanks to a plethora of offensive weapons. Among them, rookie McCole Hardman, who's been looking forward to this matchup for years. Yesterday, Hardman tweeted this picture from when he was in high school with the message, "Time flies, big bro. Richard Sherman, I look forward to the upcoming matchup. It's going to be fun to go against one of the best to ever do it."
After which Darrelle Revis tweeted, "Try to cover him man-to-man, you coward."
That was one of the best acquisitions they made in the draft was the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill's future was a little bit up in the air. He's a very similar player. I think he's a baby cheetah almost.
No, they drafted him thinking Tyreek might not be on the team.
Right.
They then obviously kept Tyreek, and now they have both those guys.
Yeah.
We haven't get you. Go ahead, Coach.
No, it'd just be interesting to see what his role is in the Super Bowl and how much they can actually utilize the weapon that he is.
And I do wonder if you'll see end arounds or handoffs or those little pitch plays to him, trying to keep the Niners off balance. He made a Pro Bowl his rookie season as a kick returner since he's been really good for them.
Yep.
All right, let's stick with the Chiefs, who are playing in the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years, thanks in large part to that guy, number 15, Patrick Mahomes. And while Mahomes has been lights out this postseason, he did come up just short in the AFC Championship game last year against Tom Brady and the Patriots. But after that loss, Brady reached out to Mahomes with some interesting advice. Take a listen.
The biggest thing that Tom said to me was just to stay with the process and keep being who I am. And that's something that's important as a guy who's had so much success every single year he's been in the NFL, is that he goes out there every single day and he treats it like it's the most important day. And so that's something that I'll try to do for my entire career.
Nick, do you think Mahomes could eventually overtake Brady as the greatest of all time?
I think it'd be foolish to say it's impossible. The only thing that I'll say I find to be impossible, implausible, is that anyone ever wins more Super Bowls or goes to more Super Bowls as a starting quarterback than Brady did. It was, as you said earlier, Danny, it's the perfect storm. Coach, quarterback, organization, some spectacular defensive coaches, particularly early in the era, great team all around, all of it. And some amazing fortune, which you have to have in order to win these things. I know people talk about the helmet catch going against them, but the tuck rule game, the different things that have happened that have helped them, the not handing off to Marshawn Lynch at the goal line, those things that led to it, no one's ever going to duplicate that. So if in order to become the GOAT, you have to get 7 rings, the answer is no. But I don't think you do, because we have seen this happen in sports history before. Bill Russell, when he retired, had more MVPs than anyone in NBA history, had more championships than any organization in NBA history. He had won 11 titles in 13 seasons. He had his version of Peyton Manning that he went up against repeatedly, Wilt Chamberlain, the guy who people thought, oh, he's probably more talented than him, can do more, but he always won. And Russell, when he retired, the thought was, well, this is the greatest basketball player we will ever see. And then multiple guys have passed him despite not equaling his MVPs. LeBron doesn't have more MVPs than Bill Russell. LeBron's got 4, despite not even coming close to his championships. Michael has 6 championships, so amazing. Russell got 11. But the eye test, the ability to do everything, and just the gut feeling of, well, I just think this guy was better, was enough to overtake the raw ring count. So is it possible? Yes. What would it take? A decade plus of Patrick playing at this level, winning 4 Super Bowls. He currently has 0.
With various rosters.
Yeah, winning 3 more league MVPs. He currently has 1. Like, all those things would have to happen. So it's not likely. It's not my pick, but I can't dismiss it as a possibility, Coach.
I think the difference between great and greatness is consistency. And that's what Tom was talking about with Patrick, is the process. And when you become more famous, when you become wealthier, when you have that success, can you be the same guy that you were that got you to the place that put you in that position? And it's really hard to do, because there's so much pressure to do different things. And it's hard to wake up the same way with that same hunger, but that's what Tom has been able to do. So in order to catch his greatness, he's going to have that consistency over a very long period of time. And we talked about a little bit of the perfect storm New England-wise. There's a perfect storm in Kansas City-wise, too. You've got an excellent coach who's won without Patrick. Okay, we won with Alex Smith. You got 2 unbelievable offensive weapons that he came into. You've got a guy who's very mobile, and as we talk about the future, Tom losing his mobility, that didn't affect anything. That was never part of his game. Patrick, if he loses his mobility due to age and time, I think that's going to have more of an effect on his game. So can he ever catch him? Of course, someone's going to catch him, because there's great athletes that come up every few generation. However you want to look at it, we're always saying no one will ever catch this person, and then someone catches that person. Could Patrick be that guy? He's shown a lot of traits, and just like Tom showed traits early in his career. Now the question is he going to be great, or is he going to have greatness, and does he have that consistency to make that jump?
I'm not going to lie. When I saw this topic, I was like, oh, no. Like, this is going to be annoying, because I don't think it's too early. And there was a contest yesterday when you watched nationally the conversation. It was who could make the strongest case that Patrick Mahomes he's going to be better than Brady. He's
very frustrating.
Well, not only that, he's going to be more impressive than Michael Jordan was to the NBA. And it's like, well, if he played baseball, he could be the best baseball. Like, it's like all these accolades kept coming, and people tried to magnify how great he is. So I was annoyed from that. I don't think there is any chance he gets 6 rings. So and there will be some people who will refuse, just the same way they will ever refuse to acknowledge that LeBron is closing on MJ. Not that he's there yet, but he's closing on MJ. There are just some people like myself that are stubborn, that would say, no, championships matter. But I think you brought up a really interesting case, that before MJ, there was Bill Russell, and there was Wilt Chamberlain. There were other players who were in the conversation for greatest of all time who get completely left out of the conversation now, because of, yes, the championships, which he was able to get close to, but he never passed Bill Russell, but because of the way he played the game. And I think when people watch Patrick Mahomes, you look at him and you think, this guy is different than anybody we've seen do it before, the way he plays. His arm talent, maybe the strongest we've seen in the history of the game. His running ability is not, he's not Michael Vick, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can run and make plays with that combination of arm talent that we haven't seen before. And you want to talk, like, Jordan came on the scene, he was the dunk champion, he had signature moves, he had signature shots. Patrick Mahomes in year 3 already has no-look passes, which we haven't seen before. He's had left-handed passes, which we haven't seen before. And he's got these runs like he had yesterday, which on a highlight reel, and as shallow as it might seem, those matter. When you start accumulating those types of highlights, they start to enter you in that conversation.
I'm just very impressed that it only took you to yesterday to be annoyed by people heaping praise on someone
before they've done anything.
Before they've done anything, and I feel like we have this conversation all the time. And the draft, as we move into draft coverage, it'll be, this guy's a once-in-a-generation talent. This guy has talents that we've never seen before. And there's always these quarterbacks that come in and say he's got these skill sets that he's changing the game. He's changing. Oh, okay. Yeah, you always got to pump the brakes a little bit.
But Nick, Patrick Mahomes is going to take a hometown discount the way Tom Brady did, and they're going to have to pay weapons around him to do it. And yes, Tom Brady had multiple weapons and multiple rosters. Is that something that you could see Patrick Mahomes doing? Could he be that successful if he doesn't have all these tools around him?
They're going to have Kelsey and Hill for the next few years. And I don't know if they'll stay at this level, but they're going to have those guys for the next few years. McCall Hardman, you guys mentioned, he's on a rookie contract for the next 4 seasons. Brett Veach has done a really good job of seeing this extension coming, so I don't think all of a sudden they're going to have to strip it down. You're right, he's not going to take a hometown discount, and he damn sure shouldn't. Credit for Brady, because that's what he wanted to do. After, in 2010, he became the highest paid player in the league. We all forget that happened. It absolutely happened, and then he started taking
10 years into his career.
Well, he was coach.
How many Super Bowls?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. He also,
in 2010.
Wait a second.
Okay.
Brady, prior to 2010, it was not the highest paid player in the league because of where he was drafted and because they paid him early. And when you pay a guy early, he takes the money early because he hadn't made the money, and the team gets a discount. Now, later in his career, he obviously has taken massive discounts in order to try to build the best team around him. And maybe 15 years in, Patrick will do the same thing. I don't know. What I do know is this. If he wins in 2 weeks, it is the greatest first 2 years as a starter of any player at any position ever. I know that. A league MVP followed by, he right now is statistically the greatest postseason passer as far as quarterback rating ever. If they win the Super Bowl and the one playoff loss he has is to the GOAT in overtime when he had 2 fourth-quarter comebacks and never got to touch the ball, it's the greatest first 2 years ever. That's not getting ahead of ourselves. That is where we are. Well, where we would be in 12 days. That's what's on the line for him, and that's the path that one would have to walk
but
if
as
they're going to become
great as
the
he
GOAT.
is, you can't even pick them to win the Super Bowl.
It's not,
Like that was a really, I was so compelled by that. But
But he doesn't
All right, you know what, Coach? You box
he
me in.
is the most
You box me
unbelievable
in.
player to ever play the game, but I'm
Not
not
sure
sure
he's
he's going to be able to
gonna
beat the 49ers.
You box me in.
Take a break. Coming up, is Des Bryant the missing
rarely do
piece
that
for the
to me.
Dallas Cowboys? That's next.
If this
First
was
things
chess, I just knocked the king over. Checkmate.